Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Marriage, Money, and Mindset. We're your hosts. I'm Jared.
And I'm Alexis.
And welcome back to another episode 42 of Marriage, Money, and Mindset. Before we kick it off, we want to say, hey, thanks to the new subscribers. We crossed over 400 subscribers recently, so we appreciate y'all. Yeah, thank y'all. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We do this channel in regards to marriage, money, and mindset. We drop content every week, Mondays at 5 p.m. Central Time. I don't know. I can't ever remember that. Central. Yeah, we in Texas. You know what I'm saying?
You guys have been interacting a lot more with us.
Yeah.
Y'all been sharing the content. So if you know somebody that can benefit from the information that we're sharing, or if you have a question or a comment, interact with us. Share this video.
Yeah, exactly. We appreciate y'all, man. So we are here today to do another episode in regards to money, right? So this episode is titled Reasons Why Your Wealth May Not Be Growing, right?
Why are you broke?
Why are you broke? Yeah. So, we're going to dive into it this episode, reasons why your wealth is not growing. And then we're going to also offer some solutions that, could provide you 4 ways to grow your wealth. Right. Growing wealth is a necessity today. It's not something that, you can't just put on the back burner. You have to build wealth, guys. It's going to depict how your life is going to end up. You know what I'm saying? Wealth is one of them things, and we also got to not be selfish. We got to think about life after life, who we want to inherit our wealth, things of that nature, right?
And people always say that money doesn't bring happiness, but the lack of money, basically money is a tool. So if you don't have money, you don't have the resources to get the things that you need.
Right.
So that's another selfish thing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we have 15 reasons today for y'all, right? That we're going to dive into reasons why people might not be growing their wealth. Okay, so I'll kick the first one off for y'all. The first reason is just of lack of financial literacy, right? Yeah. So many people just don't understand the basics of budgeting, saving, investing, and managing debt. So. I want to focus on those 4 tiers real quick: budgeting, saving, investing, and managing debt. So when we talk about budgeting, we actually did an episode earlier on our channel in regards to how you should budget, right? You have different categories in your life. You have your housing expense, your food, your investing, your tithing or giving, your discretionary, things of that nature, right?
All the different categories. That's episode 3. Go back and watch that.
Episode 3 is titled Managing Finances in a Marriage. So budgeting is essential, right? You have to have an allocation, and you have to have one preferably for investing, right? A lot of people don't invest. They don't even have that as an allocation. Yeah. That's your most prioritized allocation in our opinion. Right. You have to invest, guys, right? So we're talking about budgeting. So saving. Now, saving is one of them things I title as saving to invest.
Exactly.
Right? We don't just save money just to save money. We're not wanting money. We're wanting the things that money can provide, which is our time, things that we desire in life, our necessities in life, things of that nature. We don't want cash. We need the things that cash bring us. Go ahead.
Yeah. So an example of saving money, what are you saving the money for? Maybe you're saving for a down payment on a rental property that you're going to purchase to invest in, or maybe you're saving for a whole share of a company. Maybe you only have partial and you want the whole thing, so you save for that. That's what he means by saving to invest.
Exactly. And that ties into the third one, which is investing. And then, of course, managing debt, guys. So, everybody, I'm pretty sure, has some form of debt. You have to be able to know strategically how you're going to eliminate your debt, right? I almost prioritize investing over it, but it's something you can do simultaneous, right? Paying off your debt is just as important as it's just as important as investing, if not more important, because the interest, we're going to dive into it here in a second, but the high interest kind of robs you from being able to invest more dollars, right? So that's just the lack of financial literacy. That's just giving y'all a little hint. And just to give y'all some more resources, I would recommend Rich Dad Poor Dad as a great resource to start. That's a great book to help you with financial literacy. Start there, guys.
Mindset too.
Yeah, it's a mindset shift. It's a paradigm shift. So start there with Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't know how many times I've mentioned that book. If you haven't read that book, please read it. It's a game changer. So that's reason number 1. Hershey, tell them what reason number 2 is.
Reason number 2 of why you guys wealth is not growing is you're not bringing in enough income. So you need to figure out ways that you can increase your income, whether that's leaving your job that you're currently in or adding on additional streams of income. So I know for me, I have my 9 to 5, but I still wanted to bring in some additional income. So I figured out a way to do that where it was also beneficial to us to invest. So all my additional income is going to investing in yours too.
Yeah, I mean, look, guys, the reality, look, we got to come to reality. We have to make more income, right? Like Hershey just mentioned, ways you can, increase your income. You have to get educated, excuse me, you have to get educated in learning more skills, high paying skills, by the way, things that can be scalable, things of that nature, right? We can't do low level activity and expect high pay and results. This is not going to work that way. It's just not how it works.
Yeah.
So whether that's going to school, getting, further education, certain credentials in order to bring a career that can bring you in more income, or at least have a job that has the opportunity, or career rather, that has the opportunity to increase your income over a period of time, right? So these are just some things to consider. We can't not make low income and expect to be financially free later in life. It's just very challenging to do that, right? Especially in today's economy. So
what's the third reason?
Third reason, guys. So high debt levels. We already talked about it briefly. Significant debt from credit cards, student loans, or mortgages can consume a large portion of income. So again, back to what I mentioned earlier, when it comes to credit card debt, you have to eliminate that as quickly as possible. High interest is robbing you from being able to invest. Mortgages, again, if you have too much going to that allocation of your cost of living, I would say more than 25%, you probably have too much house. You may need to maybe consider consolidating, minimizing where you live.
All of your expenses.
Yeah, you may have to potentially downsize. That's what I meant to say. You may have to downsize. You may have too much house. Some people have more than 50% of their income going just to their housing. Yeah. That's too much because, again, it's robbing you from other categories in life that are just as important. And, of course, student loans, if you have student loans, and that's probably the worst because you cannot file for bankruptcy and get that off your record. You have to pay. If you have student loan debt, you have to pay it back. So get creative with how you're going to eliminate your student loan debt, but also simultaneously figure out a way to invest. Don't just focus on one or the other at a time. Do both simultaneously if you can, right?
I graduated in 2015 and I'm still paying. It's 2024. I'm still paying on interest.
Yeah, but
on student loans.
That's a unique situation, by the way. She has and here's the thing, guys. All of the debts we have, we could eliminate them at any point in time if we desire to. It's just that a lot of it is low interest and it doesn't affect our long-term goals. It's not one of them things that hinders us from being able to achieve our goals. So It's a unique situation that we have. We can eliminate our debt at any point in time if we desire to. But again, we'll talk about that later on another episode. We want to focus on this one for now.
All right. So the fourth reason why you are not growing your wealth is bad spending habits.
Yeah.
So I know that many of us are guilty of this. We want to spend money in so many different areas. You just hit on a couple of things. Just allocating too much in certain areas.
Yeah.
Like discretionary. We're spending way too much in discretionary. So whenever it's time to pay the rent, we trying to nickel and dime and figure things out. Or you just have habits that you've picked up that you really can't afford.
Yeah, again, guys, look, leisure is something that I get it. We all want leisure. But again, back to that, allocation. You have to be cautious of how much money you put towards your leisure, rather.
Right. Delay that gratification. Put it off a little bit.
Yeah. One exercise y'all can do is go in, if you have a bank or credit union account, pull it up. If you have the application, pull it up on your phone and just look at the last 12 months of your spending. See where your money is going. That's a great exercise to figure out how you're managing and what you're spending your money on. Right. You know what I'm saying? How much of it is going into a brokerage? How much of it is going into a crypto exchange? How much of it is going to HEB, how much of it is going to Walmart, whatever, you know.
This one likes to look in my bank statements and see how many times I went to Chick-fil-A.
Nah, you don't go. You go to the Mexican restaurant more now. But anyways, so yeah, guys. So yeah, poor spending habits. If you have them, get a hold on that. Again, I'm not saying you can't have any fun, but just be cautious of how much fun you're having. Right? Okay.
Yeah, always allocate and budget.
All right, so number 5, right? So failing to save, right? Without a disciplined approach to saving, individuals miss opportunities to grow their wealth through compound interest and investing, right? So again, we talked about saving to invest, right? There's a compound interest calculator. Hershey's gonna pop it up here somewhere in the video while we're talking. But I have a formula for you guys. I actually know the formula to become a millionaire, right? It's called 1825/45/10.
Okay.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Okay. So 1825, that represents how much money you're going to invest annually, right?
Per year.
Per year, guys. Okay. So there's 365 days in a year. If you take 365 days and multiply by 5, it comes out to 1825. Okay. That's your annual investment. $5 a day, guys. Now, in order for this to work out successfully, you have to have 45 years ahead of you in life, right? Which most of us, I think, do have if you're younger enough, right? Okay. And then what the 10, that's what the 45 represents. And then the 10 represents your annual growth rate, which is 10%. So if you can invest $5 a day for the next 45 years and earn at least 10% annually on that investment, it will yield you a return of $1.4 million. Hershey's going to pop it up here somewhere in this video. So that's just a simple way of calculating how to become a millionaire, guys. And explain to them how they can expedite that.
Okay, so most of us are thinking like, okay, 45 years, I gotta wait 45 years to become a millionaire. No, you don't. Because I'm sure you have more than $5 that you can allocate or more than $1,800 that you can allocate per year toward investing. So it's just about becoming serious about investing. How fast do you want to become a millionaire? And then that third component was a 10%.
Right.
So you guys are going to see later, we're going to pull up a chart, but there's several businesses that you can invest in that are yielding way more than 10%.
Exactly, guys. I mean, nowadays, that's a very conservative return on average, 10%.
Right.
I can usually beat that,
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, so that's the recipe to becoming a millionaire, 1.4 million. 1825-45-10. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about number 6, not investing, right? So avoiding investment due to fear or lack of knowledge can result in missed opportunities for wealth growing. Okay, so now I want to show y'all this chart down here that we have, right? So, there's people that I work with actually. We've been investing since day one, guys. Like since we met. That's just like, the glue.
Right.
One piece of the glue to our marriage is investing. So we've been married going on 7 years now. So we've been investing in real estate, stocks, crypto, pretty much that entire duration up until this date, right?
Right.
Now, we got into the stock market around 2019. So what we have here is a chart of some of the investments that we have that we invest in our portfolio. And I just want to show you guys by delaying what type of returns you could potentially be missing out on. Because back to what I was going to mention earlier, I have coworkers that, I talked to about investing 5 years ago and, just explained to them, just a few ideas of not telling them what to invest in, but just the importance of investing, right? So 5 years ago, their rebuttal was some excuses, oh, well, I'm going to get into it, but, I got XYZ going on. I got to get my child through school. I got, I'm going to wait till I pay off these bills. Then I'm going to get, I'm going to pay off this mortgage, whatever the case may be, right? So check this out. So let's go back 5 years ago from today. Okay, so check this out, guys. So we have 5 positions that I want to share with y'all that actually we have investments in currently. I got to vote. Okay. So this is actually pretty much our portfolio. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This is like our aggressive portfolio that we have.
Right.
So as you can see, we have 2019 and July 2024 written up here at the top. Now we have Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, and Bitcoin, right? So check this out, guys. So 5 years ago, one share of Amazon was trading at about $97.15 a share. 2024, 5 years later, now we're at all-time highs, by the way. All four of these positions, by the way, have hit all-time highs as of today of this recording. Mm-hmm. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
But we have one share of Amazon now trading at $200 a share, which is 105% return, guys, right? Okay. Microsoft, 5 years ago, $137.06 a share, $467.56 a share. Today, 241% return.
Right.
Google, $56.58 a share in 2019, $191.96, 239% return 5 years later on Google share. Apple, $51.06 a share, $226.34 a share today, 343% return. And then Bitcoin, $10,761 a coin. Today we're sitting at around $56,676.50 a coin, 426% return, guys, right? So this is what I wanted to tell y'all. Look, this is the cost of missing or procrastinating from 5 years ago.
Exactly. You
have to now produce this high of a percentage in order to buy the same amount of shares as you could have 5 years ago. Yeah. So if your income, let's take Amazon for instance, if your income has not increased over 105%, your buying power has decreased to buy the same share that you could have bought 5 years ago.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? This is why you don't want to delay. This is just an example.
And
right?
How many people, so some of those excuses that you were talking about, right. I got to wait until my child gets out of college. I got to wait until I pay off these bills and pay off this consumer debt. How many of y'all don't have 97.15 or 137, 56, 51? Like you have that right. sitting aside. You spend it on food or on whatever.
But the best part about it is even if you didn't have that exact amount, you can buy a fractional share because you're going to get the same percentage in returns, guys.
Right. Whatever you have, it's about the pattern of investing.
Exactly. The point is this. It doesn't make any sense to delay this because not to mention like going further down, your time, like the time horizon, even if it's, if you're investing for the long term, you're not going to get out in 5 years, guys.
Right.
You're going to continue to invest. So this money is going to continue to compound.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Even longer, down the road.
Right.
So I say all that to say, I just wanted to show y'all in real time what the returns have been over the last 5 years with just these these five companies and of course four companies in Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. So not investing, you're actually paying a premium later in life. And if your income is not keeping up with what the return has been, and most people are making 105% more 5 years ago today.
Right.
So and I'm pretty sure that's the case for most people. Mm-hmm. So your buying power has decreased. You no longer have the opportunity to get the shares at this pricing where you have to pay a premium. Yep. So, if you delay, you pay more. Mm-hmm. Just FYI, guys. So let's talk about number 7. Let's go into the 7th reason why your wealth may not be growing.
Okay. So economic conditions.
Right.
So we've experienced black swan events. Right now we have high inflations. We've experienced recessions. So these are the types of things that are also holding you back from obtaining wealth or high wealth.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, it's one of them things, now for us, of course, when we talk about economic conditions, such as on mortgages on our rental properties, that's actually a benefit for us because we're hedging inflation by having locked in lower rates. So whereas people that are trying to get in real estate today may have to pay a premium in interest rates. Same thing with the stock market, hitting all-time highs. That's a benefit for us because we're already invested. But for the people that may want to start a portfolio position today, they're paying a premium in comparison to what we paid.
And those black swan events like COVID-19, a lot of us lost our jobs. We didn't. We were fortunate not to lose our jobs, but a lot of people did.
Right.
So if those economic conditions affected you, that put a big halt in your ability to invest and save.
Yeah, kind of real quick. That goes back to that second reason, which was low income.
Yeah.
Also, one more thing to add: when you're picking your career path, if you can, based on what happened in 2020 with with the pandemic, you may want to potentially pick a career that may not be obsolete and it's
Right.
also essential. So, just
Yeah.
some things to consider when you're picking your career path in life, right? Or even the skills that you develop to make sure that they're not going to become obsolete, and they also potentially may be
Scalable.
essential and scalable as well. Okay, so let's talk about number 8. So emergency expenses, unexpected costs, right? Like medical expenses or major home repairs can deplete savings.
Yep.
So it's not a matter of if, it's when. So again, back to that savings thing. Yeah, you want to have some savings set aside for those, unexpected things in life. That way it doesn't interrupt your investment goals. You won't have no excuse that comes in, because it's not a matter of if, it's when. Things happen all the time.
Right.
What's something recently that happened with us that we had unexpected?
You ran over that curb and had to get some maintenance on your car.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got yeah. I hit yeah. Okay, yes, things like that, unexpected, right? Okay, so let's talk about number 9. Number
Went
9.
real fast.
Huh?
The ninth reason why you're not increasing your wealth is you're increasing your lifestyle. So as you start making more money,
Come on.
after you start making more money, you also increase your lifestyle. So all of those expenses start going up. You want to get a new car. You want to change out your wardrobe. You're trying to go to Bora Bora, but you Pora Pora.
I like that.
I mean, it's not keeping up. Your assets are staying the same, or they're non-existent, but your expenses are going out the roof with your income.
I get it, guys. Look, I mean, it's one of them things I've actually experienced it myself. Like most people, they go from making maybe, I don't know, 30 grand, 40 grand a year to making 90 to 120 a year.
Right.
That's a huge increase, over 50% in most cases for some people. So the first thing you want to do is increase your lifestyle. I get it. You want to go get the house. You want to go get the car you always wanted. Long as you're keeping those things in perspective, back to that episode, Managing Finances in a Marriage, I don't have a problem with you doing that. Just keep it in perspective, because investing is your number one priority. If you're robbing yourself from investing, then you're not doing it right. You have too much house, you have too much car, you have too much whatever, your lifestyle, right?
Right.
So make sure you keep that in check. Your lifestyle should not affect your saving and investment goals, guys. All right, guys. So number 10, let's talk about it. So job instability. Frequent job changes, unemployment, or underemployment can lead to inconsistent income and difficulty saving, right? So jumping job to job, or I'm an entrepreneur, I do a little bit of this, I do a little bit of that. Back to what we mentioned earlier about low income. Sometimes having these hops around in different jobs, you have to find something, guys, that you can stay long term at. You know what I'm saying? Like hopping along, like.
It
I
goes
get it.
back
Thanks.
to that episode that we talked about, the wave, the blue wave. So there's 4 different categories. The first one is stranded. That second one is lifesaver. So to me, job instability is you're just on the lifesaver. You're not getting to financial freedom quickly.
Yeah.
You're just slowing yourself down.
Let's be real. You don't want a job. You want a career.
Right.
Something that has benefits, something that has maybe potentially a retirement account attached to it, maybe something that has paid leave, things of that nature, if you can. So, jobs, or even being underemployed, which is, where you're overqualified for a potential job, all of overqualification, or involuntary part-time work, things of that nature. So again, back to what I mentioned earlier, you want a career, right? Find a career. So let's talk about number 11. 11 reasons why you're not building wealth. Tell them.
It's limited access to financial services. So your lack of access to banking and investment services.
Yeah, this made me think about, remember when we was in Jamaica at Sandals, our bartender that was in the Hibachi, I think, restaurant. Man, so he asked us, like,
He's from
How?
Jamaica.
Yeah.
He's asking us how we are able to invest.
Yeah,
So
he
the
was.
resources that we have here in the United
Mm-hmm.
States, we don't realize how fortunate we are because not everybody is allotted those same resources.
Yeah, it's a lot of hoops he had to jump through in order to invest.
Right.
So I was very kind of like that's another cool thing. Like I said, when you get out this country, guys, look, we live in the greatest country, man. Seriously, like we have opportunities here that some people unfortunately don't have. That want the opportunities that we have. That's why
Right.
some people want to come to this country because we have those opportunities here.
Yeah.
So if you're in America, man, take advantage of these opportunities while you're here. You know, we can invest, we can buy assets. They can't do that in some of these other countries. You know,
Definitely not as easy because he was
Not as
saying that they
easy.
have to go through a broker.
Yeah,
still.
I mean, it was
they don't
expensive.
have the online brokerages.
Yeah, it was very expensive as well. It's just a lot, you know, it's just things like that, you know. So we have access to banking, we have access to investment services. So take advantage of that, guys.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. Number 12, psychological factors. So fear or risk, procrastination, like we mentioned earlier, and short-term thinking can prevent affect financial planning and investment. Okay, so, you know, back to what I mentioned earlier, short-term thinking, you know, we want to think about our next decade out
Right.
at the least. You know, we're not talking about 4 years from now, 5 years from now, even though the example is a 5-year chart. But we want to think long term in life, guys. We don't want to think short term, right?
And
So
even
when you
5
invest,
years to 10 years can be long term, but you don't want to just think about like the day or the month. You're not just trying to make it month to month. Think long term.
yeah, I mean, everybody's time horizon in life is going to be different when it pertains to investing. But for us, long term, it's different stages. We talked about that on that episode. We're not going to talk about it on this one. But just know that, you know, you have to get over your psychological aspect of investing. You know, having a fear or procrastination
Right.
is costing you money. 5 years, you know, we talked about the returns. That's procrastination if you waited.
Yeah. We hear
So-
that too from some people. Like, I have
Yeah.
$5,000 to invest. I don't know where to put it. Like, do you know how to make a post on Facebook? Okay. So you can learn how to invest. It's just a simple Google search.
Right.
The next one of how
13.
you are, why you are staying broke or why you're not increasing
Reasons why
your
you're not
wealth.
growing your wealth.
Yeah, is because of health issues. So some people are just not physically capable. They have poor health or disability that can reduce their earning potential and increase medical expenses. So that's a huge setback for some people.
Yeah, I mean that can be one that I can almost say I can see how that could prevent someone from building wealth,
Right.
depending on you know their health can
Abilities.
their you know they may have some type of diagnosis that could prevent them from actually being employed, you know,
Right.
things of that nature. We get that. But let's just talk about the person who maybe just, I don't know, has maybe they're a little just like making poor health choices in life.
Okay.
So like if you're not
So
exercising,
you're causing the bad health.
right? Like if you're the common denominator. You know, you're making poor choices when you eat your food. You know, the type of food you're eating. You're not exercising. You're not sleeping like you should. You know, you're consuming a lot of negative things that affect your mental health, things of that nature. Stop doing those things because, like she just mentioned, it can be challenging. It could cause medical expenses. You may need therapy now because you've seen too many traumatic things in life. You may need a physical trainer, or you may have to go. You may have to get medication now because your blood pressure is sky high. I don't know.
Right.
You know, that's all things that can prevent you from focusing on building this wealth that we're trying to get you to grow, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, if you have health issues that can be remedy them, right? So, number 14, the family obligations. Let's talk about that one. So, financial responsibilities for family members, such as supporting children or elderly parents, it can limit personal savings and investing, right? Okay, so let's talk about having kids, right?
Yeah, let's talk
So,
about it.
now look, sometimes things happen in life. We get it. You know, you mess around, have some kids. Understand that. But look, for the people out there who don't have children, look, keep it that way until you get your pockets right, man.
Right.
telling y'all something right now, because it's just making life that much more challenging to bring life into the world when you can't even take care of your own life. You know what I'm saying?
And for the people who do have children already, it doesn't stop you from being able to invest. It's just a hurdle. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be that. It's just making your life more challenging for you, but also it's more challenging for that child that you bring into this world, because now you're trying to do the best you can for both of y'all. You see what I'm saying?
and then as far as elderly parents, hopefully your parents have their own situation set up to where you are not or they're not a financial burden to you. Hopefully they have things set up to where they can get home health or
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
or anything to assist you with taking care of them.
Well, this is for the parents. So look, if you're in a situation where you're not thinking about your later days in life, and if your plan is, well, my kid gonna figure it out for me, that's not a good plan.
Right.
That's not a good plan to have. You need to have something set yourself up for your later days, right? And yeah, that may require more sacrifice this later in life. It's just, you have to raise your children. So now it's time for you to make sure you have something set up in place to where when you get older in life, you're not just relying solely on your kids. You have something set up to where you're not having to be dependent on them, right? So, you don't want to do that to your children, man. Don't make them feel like they have to be the ones to figure your situation out later in life.
Which
so
brings
for my
us
mom
to,
and dad,
go ahead,
like for my parents, they already know. Like my mom, she got it set up. Me and her set it up, so she gonna be cool. You know what I'm saying? That's a conversation I personally had with her. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. So the last reason why your wealth is not growing, tell them.
Okay. So inadequate retirement planning. Right. So you're failing or you're not planning at all or early enough. So that can result in continued work. So you're working until you're 80 years old and you have limited wealth growth potential.
Yeah, man, that's the unfortunate reality of not investing, man. You're going to end up having to work for the rest of your days because you never figured out how to get your money to work for you. Right. So, evaluate your plan too. Like, look at what you're currently doing and ask yourself, for your time horizon, if this will even be if this will be enough later in life for you to live on. Mm-hmm. Like even with that example I gave y'all earlier when I was explaining the recipe to becoming a millionaire, guys, with the $5 a day deal, that 1.4, is that even enough?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that even enough? Dollars. In today's dollars, is that even enough? To me, for us, it's not. Our lifestyle is going to require higher net worth than that. Mm-hmm. We've done our math. We call it the magic number. We know how much money that we're gonna need in order to have that desirable lifestyle that we want to have, right?
Without exchanging our time for
it, right?
So I also wanted to point out that most people are not broke because they have money issues. Mm-hmm. Most people are broke because they don't know how to manage their money.
Yeah, they have a money management issue. It's not I don't have a money issue. I have a money management issue.
Right.
But some people do have a money issue as well. That's the reality as well. Like we can't, sit up here and think everybody got money flowing in. They don't, you know. But that's a whole other thing. A lot of times it's not the problem. The money that you don't have coming in is not the problem. It's your mindset. Because here's my thing. Okay. If all you lack is money, let me give you $5 million right now. Let me give you $5 million. What you gonna do with it? See what I'm saying? So, a lot of people think they'll be set straight. They'll be good. No, you won't. If you have bad money habits, you're going to go back to zero. And you're probably going to actually go worse than zero. You're probably going to be negative. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Because you're going to go out and buy things that you can't cater to. The expense, the carrying expense, you can't cater to. Like, for instance, like you see a lot of these ball players have that happen to them. Athletes, movie stars, things of that nature, they go bust. Why? Because they have bad money management. They have bad money habits. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you have to get educated, guys, on how to manage your finances, how to budget, how to invest. And then, of course, once you make the bag, how to keep the bag, how to, not deplete the bag to where you have more time left in money. You know what I'm saying? So these are just a few things, right, that we wanted to explain what potentially may be keeping you from growing your wealth. So, evaluate your situation. That's your homework for today. Evaluate your situation. Go over those 15 things and just see how, that sits with you.
Right.
If you're struggling with any of those 15 reasons why, change it. You know what I'm saying? There's still time on your side. If you're watching this, you still have time on your side, hopefully, to get your stuff together and build that wealth, guys, because it's very important. Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this episode, it's a necessity today. It's not something that you put on the back burner, right?
Right.
So anything else you want to add before we take off?
No, I think that's it.
Well, that's it, guys. Hey, so look, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, comment below, share this episode, and hey, we're going to catch y'all next week. We appreciate y'all. Till next week, y'all take care.
Peace.